Hey everybody, good afternoon. This is drive time. I'm gonna make a quick one because I know my alarm is gonna go off and interrupt me. I haven't quite taken the time to figure out how to stop it from interrupting me. In any event, I hope everybody's well. Today is the first day of 2022. And it's really quiet and very subtle seeming, if that's a word. And I feel that way as well. Usually every New Year's Eve there's this big hoopla of bringing in the new year, and it's fine. It's this time there's a quietness, it seems, and it's raining here where we are in New Jersey, and the quietness in my mind, I am in my mind, or in my IMO, in my opinion, but in my mind, the quietness is a result of the unknown. You know, people are still going about their day, keeping on. They keeping on still, but there's also this calmness, or so it seems, about okay, what's next, y'all? What's happening next? What's gonna happen here? And people are quiet, and I get it. And if you're at home today because of a different work schedule, then oh gosh, that same hole gets me all the time. Then you are kind of like, let me sit on my petunia and chinchilla, you know. Well, I'm talking about me anyway. I usually don't get to nap as much as I like to, and I know that sleep is my issue. I don't make New Year's resolutions. I make resolutions all year, like I really do, because when I get tired of something, I'm tired of it. I was like, you know, I'm gonna do this when I get up, I'm gonna do that, and I usually do, you know. So I usually try to reach whatever that goal is. So I don't need a new year to get into a new goal, although it's a perfect time to bring down an edict and make some life decisions for yourself, you know. And many people, they don't make any life decisions at all, and that's good too, but you land where you land, you know. So that's how that ball bounces, you know. If you don't make any decisions for yourself and then take some steps to reach that goal, then you land where you land, you know. Hey, and then you start telling other people that, oh, you're so lucky. Luck has nothing to do with when you're doing work. Now, work gets tiresome, and if we work in a capacity of earning a living for other people, if you're a person that works for yourself, or people that have some agenda, the work gets tireless. Like you don't get tired because you are after something, and that's good too. But do you always have to be working? Sometimes it gets old. Like, I find myself busy. I stay busy. Like, I stay busy, and it's not, oh, being a busy bee. I just do stuff. Like, I stay busy, and then I get like tired. I never get bored. I actually get really weirded out when I ask people, you know, like, what are you up to? And they say, I'm not up to anything. Or what are your hobbies? And I've heard this too, like, I don't have any hobbies. I'm like, okay, cool. Black people don't have no hobbies. And I'm like, no, you know. But then I realized that many people don't have any hobbies. Like, what do you like to do? You have to ask that question very gingerly. What is it that you like to do? You know, some people will tell you, I've heard, I don't like to do anything. Well, surely there's something you like. I don't like anything. Okay. Now, there's Jordan Peterson, who I've seen a lot of his lectures, and I've heard them extensively, but he said in one of his lectures that if you are talking to someone and that person's not listening, stop talking to them. They don't have the capacity, or they're not interested in what you have to offer. Then talk to someone who wants to listen, who has the capacity, or who is interested in what you have to say. Stop trying to talk to people who don't want to hear it. You know, you're wasting your time, basically. And when he said that in that short, I said, you don't listen to the entire lecture, because he's right. And as New Year's edict, if you will, was such a hectic year in 2020. The life changes, you know, so many life changes for everyone that unprecedented, because there are life changes all the time. But the whole world was thrown into this thing, and it's like, holy crap! Now everybody's not good with change. Most people aren't, but the change of that magnitude was like, yo, and whoa, and all of that. So, you know, it's a shocker, and it still is, even if you are adept in accepting change. So, because you have to be, because it is what it is. You can't do nothing about it, or you ain't gonna do nothing about it, about change. So with that being said, I decided, like I'll tell people, you know, I just made a life decision, you know, and I'll be saying that all year, you know, when I'm changing something up or some new thing I want to try. And if it's a big one, it's like, you know, I'm tired of mustard. I'm making a life decision, not eating any more mustard. Now, will I fall short? Probably, because that's what we do, you know. Some things you don't fall short on. In any event, you know, that's one of the things. I'm not going to be wasting my breath, so to speak. Like, stop wasting your breath. Don't waste your breath. You know, I don't feel like it. And last year, for 2020, going into 2021, on the Gregorian calendar, because of the world changes, Mecca and I went out and we bought a little cake, and it was for the new year, which technically is not in January. But according to the Gregorian calendar, we bought a cake, and it said happy birthday, and I had some champagne glasses on it, and I made a short film about it. It said happy birthday 2021, you're on your way, you know, and I had some sparkling cider, you know, and a couple glasses next to it, so we can celebrate and usher in the quote-unquote new year. And so, and I sent that as a Happy New Year text to folks I want to say Happy New Year to, like we traditionally say Happy New Year to folks, blah, 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 blah. And some people said back at you, some people said nothing. Someone said, oh, you always have to be extra and go over the top. I'm like, listen, whatever, you know, you don't appreciate that I included my wishes for you, you know, in a different way that's different than, you know, our traditional ways of saying Happy New Year. When we were kids, we used to go outside and we'd have our pots and pans, and we'd be banging on pots and pans. We didn't have any streamers and all that other stuff. We didn't spend no money for that. My grandmother might spend no money for that. But, and that's how we used to say Happy New Year, you know, when it came blazing in. And you know, at the stroke of 12, and my grandma used to say, you know, we should all be together because you don't know who's not going to be here next year, you know. And she was right, you know. Don't have dirty clothes in the house, you know, when the new year comes in. And the funny thing about that, I used to always wonder, like, why we got to wash up all these clothes, you know, because is that going to stop them from coming here? And the truth is, there's always dirty clothes in the house. Hopefully there is. That means you're changing your clothes. But those were some of the things we did. My new friend mentioned that about, he was doing his laundry, yada, yada, yada. I was like, wow, we used to do that too. Do all the laundry before the new year came in, you know, because of the significance of that. But yeah, some people were upset about that. Some people like gonna be upset about anything. There's some people gonna be upset about this car over here on my right, this Toyota Prius or whatever it is, being blue, you know, or being driven by a man or a short person, or on this highway, or in front of them. You know, people out here drive like, you're not getting in front of me, and the truth is, we're not going to the same place, because you damn sure ain't going to my house. You can get there before me if you want to. So, yeah, they weren't happy with the innovation of that. And then I realized, hey, baby girl, you are an innovator, and everybody's not going to be on a page with you and do what you do. But I also decided that I wasn't going to say anything to anyone, even those who wished me one. And till later, I'll give it back to them. And I did. My daughters, of course. My daughters even said Happy New Year, both of them, and all three of them actually. And I was sleeping, so I wasn't up for the new year to come in, only because I was sleeping. And I decided to get some more sleep this year. I know that sleep is important, and all the things that I know, putting them to the grind is probably my biggest fault. Now, new toll rates in effect. Okay. So I don't blame anyone for that, but I know that I need better sleep, and I know that I have enough tools to do anything I want. I just use them. So that's another edict, a life decision, not a New Year's resolution. Physical fitness is another life decision, not a New Year's resolution. That, hey man, don't lose 40 pounds by January. Just take better care of yourself, you know. And that's what one of my life decisions is, you know. Make an edict, do what you do. But yeah, I'm also trying to figure out why this traffic is a little bit different. The flow is different. The flow is a little bit dicier than normal. But since I'm out here, I'm trying to get something I need for my growing season. Yeah, and I know there's only 2 places in our area that has it. I believe one of them is closed today. Or if it's not closed today, I'm going to, if this one's closed, I'm going to backtrack and come back towards the other one. And if it's closed too, then I will go home. But I intend to, as always, spend more time at home. I am not going to do what I've done in the past. You know, I've tried to get people to come over for whatever, enjoy my place and space, but I'm not going to be asking you more than once. I used to do, I'll ask you once, and then I'll say, you sure? But I'm not doing that either. If I ask you something, or ask you if you want something, or whatever, or a suggestion, and you say no, I'm going to say okay. And keep moving. Because I, for so many years, had to play opposite day, and for so many years had to be sure that this person who's making their decision known, if that's their final decision, like, you have no clue how, what somebody does, how crazy it is when you ask someone, do you want to have fish? And they say no. And then you're required to say, are you sure? Because if you eat the fish for yourself, or I wasn't sure if I wanted some, you just ate it on yourself. Listen, I asked you, you said no. Then I started saying, do you want fish? No. Are you sure? I'm sure. Are you sure you're sure? I'm sure. Okay. Then it turned into one, I'm sure. Then it turned into one, I'm sure, and that's it. And whatever comes after that, just taking the flack. Because the truth is, all that craziness was somebody manipulating the narrative of whatever it was. And their insanity. Yeah, I said it and I say it again, that if you are insane, if someone's insane and you're able to deal with them, then you're insane too. Because you can make it around that. You know, if you can live with a person that's mentally ill and keep yourself unscathed, then you become mentally ill, understanding their illness. You know, so no, it's one and done. I'm asking you once. And if that's not your final decision, then it's too bad for you. Now, in our general living, we are aware of a lot of these tools, like Jordan Peterson said. You know, stop talking to somebody who's not listening to what you got to say. Go talk to somebody who's interested. Nobody told me that. All right, because then I'd be a silent creature, and I've been a silent creature, and I've also been accused of being a silent creature. Like, you're not going to please everybody, and being a silent creature sometimes puts you in your headspace, or and you can't get out. And in there, you're making an agreement with yourself. So you got to watch that too, and you got to watch it because there's other people that feel the same way that you feel about a subject. If you don't communicate, you won't know that other people out here don't believe in this cocoa BS. Bolsheviks, okay? There's other people out here who don't believe that this cocoa Bolsheviks is evolving every day. There's other people out here who feel as you do, but there's, you know, you're staying the distance of a man, his height, or maybe the average dude's height, I don't know, from another person doesn't give you the ability to converse with him and see that you guys can exchange ideas and you can come in agreement, because I'm separating you. Separation always kills agreement.